Now, I've had this camera for a couple of days, and I've been testing it, and I've still got a lot more testing, but I wanted to be able just to kind of give you first look and first impressions of this new flagship from Sjcam. This just might be the best camera that they've ever made, and that's coming right up. So when you feel the camera in your hand, you know that it's a quality piece. It is not, it doesn't feel like it's plastic. It feels like it has got a metal body on it, and it's got this lens that some people will talk about and say, well, wow, that kind of looks a little bit like the Osmo Action. And the funny thing is that you can actually use the PGY-Tech ND filters for the Osmo Action, and they will actually slip right onto here. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of this camera. Then I'll show you a couple of video clips. It's been really overcast and raining the last couple of days since I've had this. Let's just talk about some of the specs of the camera. So let's talk about some of the specs of this SJ10 Pro. It comes with the Ambarella H22 chipset. Now it has a Sony IMX377 sensor. On the back, you've got a 2.33-inch IPS touchscreen. It's capable of 12 megapixels and up to 60 frames per second in 4K. Now it will do H.264 and also H.265. And I tell you, the build quality of this thing is much different than the other Sjcams. Now, when you talk about Sjcam, their claim to fame started with the SJ4000. That was my first camera. Then they had the M10. Then they had the 5000 series, the 5000X Elite, which was a great camera. They came out with the M20. Then they came out with the SJ6 Legend. Pretty good camera. I really liked the build quality of that camera, though. Then they came out with the SJ7 Star, which I thought was, wow, okay, leaps and bounds ahead of what these budget action camera companies were doing, because it had an Ambarella chipset in it. I believe it was the A12, and its 4K was very, very nice. No image stabilization with it. Then they came out with the SJ8 Pro, which I have had zero problems with mine at all. Now, I know that there's been some people that reported some problems with it, but mine has been flawless. But let's talk about this SJ10 Pro. On the bottom, you've got the battery slot with a 1/4-20, and you slide it open, and you've got a 1300 milliampere hour battery. On the left-hand side, you've got a speaker on the top, and on the bottom is a drawer that actually opens up, and it exposes a USB Type-C for charging, and also it has your little SD card slot. Now, keep in mind, this one is capable of recording external audio, so I will be doing future tests with this one with the SJ8 Pro's microphone setup to see how it works in here. Now, another thing to note, there is only one button on this entire camera. That's it. And it's this top button. This top shutter button serves as the power on and off, and also as the record and stop record. And just to let you hear how it chimes up, that's how it chimes up, and you turn it off and it gives a little click. You hear that? It's almost like a little shutter sound. The firmware on this one is the earliest firmware. It is the only firmware that I've got with this, and I must say, keep this in mind, this is a beta unit. They may do some tweaking to this camera between now and its actual release for production. So I've got an opportunity, and if there's any quirks that I find with it, I will definitely report that. But first I'm going to report it to Sjcam, kind of let them know, since they were nice enough to send me the beta version of this. And but so far, so good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up some clips now and a little audio sample just so you can hear and see what the video looks like. It's going to be in 4K 30 with the EIS on. And also, do me a favor, in the comment section below, tell me, what do you think about the SJ10 Pro, just based off of what you see right now, and what kind of tests would you like for me to perform with the SJ10 Pro? Put that in the comment section below. And remember, if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing today. And let's get on to the footage. So, testing out the new SJcam, the new SJ10 Pro. Going to do a quick little audio test inside the car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shooting 4K, 30 frames per second. Nice little camera. But we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other details. Very cloudy, dreary day. But testing out the new SJ10 Pro, 4K, 30 frames per second. Electronic image stabilization is on. And just hand holding this, walking around. Hopefully in the next day or two we'll have some nice clear skies to test this with. But so far not a bad look, and the audio seems to be really, really nice out of this camera. And I can tell you the build quality is just... This may be the best SJcam yet. Maybe.